Hi, I'm Steve from Sounds Heavenly. In this video I'm going to give you some handy tips and tricks to help you to get the best from the Beosound A5, Bang Olufsen's new wireless portable smart speaker, and in my opinion one of the best portable speakers I've ever heard. So come and join me and I'll help you get the best from this speaker. First of all, a big thank you to Bang Olufsen for kindly providing this sample speaker so that we can review it. If you do want a full buyer's guide on this speaker, at the end of this video I will link to my full review and also a summary of the B&O speaker range so that you can identify if this is the choice for you. If you've already made that decision, you've got the speaker or you've got it on its way, keep on watching and I'll explain what you need to know to get the best from it. Now, the first thing possibly is so simple it almost doesn't warrant mentioning, but I think it does because you might not be aware that this speaker actually gives its best when it's plugged into the USB power. Whenever you use it within your home, I would strongly recommend you ensure that it is close to a USB charger so that it can be connected to power, because the difference is when it's on power, it has the ability to use its most intelligent and most brilliant feature, which is the room compensation. Basically, when you select room compensation in the B&O app, as long as it's powered up and on Wi-Fi, it will run a submarine sonar type tone, which the speaker then listens to the responses from the room and basically works out the acoustic signature of your room. It maps the speaker sound to match, so any particular pitches of sound which cause the room to resonate or echo, it will cancel down and it gives you clear, crisp sound regardless of how bad your room acoustics are. That only works when it's on power, so while it's indoors, make sure it's connected to the USB charger. Doesn't matter outside. When you're out in a free space, in the garden, on the beach, you don't get those same issues with echoes, so use it on its built-in battery. It's got a great battery life, but indoors, make sure it's connected to power. The second item I'm going to mention is linked in with that, and I would say this is essential regardless of where you take it. If at all possible, make sure you have Wi-Fi coverage, even if you need to bring the Wi-Fi to where you use the speaker. The reason for this is that the exceptional level of control you have within the B&O app is only available when the speaker is on Wi-Fi. So to get the best from it, make sure you've got Wi-Fi extenders that cover your garden, cover the areas where you usually use it, for example a holiday home, and that way you get seamless transition from home to the outside space, full control of the sound in the app, and also all of the smart features, Spotify Connect, Tidal, Deezer, B&O Radio, the favourite buttons on the top of the speaker, they're all accessible when you're on Wi-Fi. So wherever you take it, try and get Wi-Fi coverage to those places. And if on occasion you go down to the beach, because obviously it's waterproof, that doesn't matter. It still works perfectly well as a Bluetooth speaker, but it gives it best when it's got full Wi-Fi connection. Now, one thing that I would say with this, it is the best portable speaker I have ever heard for sound quality. But out of the box, it doesn't always give you its best sound. I mentioned running room compensation when you're indoors, but the other thing that I really suggest you try is go into the B&O app and turn off the loudness control. Loudness is a great feature. It boosts deep bass and high treble when you're listening at low volumes, but this speaker is not short of bass. On the contrary, it gives a really rich, deep bass, which sometimes is too much, especially in small rooms. So my view as a professional sound engineer is turn off the loudness control, set the speaker to the optimal sound profile in the B&O app, and in a lot of situations, for a lot of people's ears, that won't be far off perfect sound for what you need. And certainly it's a good starting point. Continuing in the B&O app, there is a particular setting that I think is very worth understanding and getting the feel of. Now if you click again on the sound profile, once you've selected it, it should open up the Beosound tone wheel, which is a feature that lets you adjust bass and treble for the speaker all by moving a dot around a wheel. Up to the top right of that section you'll see a tab marked Advanced. If you click on that, you have the option of setting the directivity of the sound. Two options are there, front and omni. Now my suggestion is that front is the one to use all the time indoors. Whenever the speaker is going to be listened to seriously within an enclosed room, that gives a sharply defined point for the sound to come from. It gives a really musical presentation to the sound. So for any serious listening within the home, set it to front. If you're outdoors, the Omni setting is great for background ambient music. It comes from all around the speaker due to speaker drivers on the rear corners. It means you can host a party out in the garden and everyone hears the same sound regardless of whether they're in front, to the sides or behind the speaker. But once you're indoors, my view is the front option really is the one to go for quality. If you come back out of that Advanced tab into the Beosound section of the app, we'll cover the fifth issue here, and that is that once you start experimenting, moving the dot around the tone wheel and hearing the difference to the low and the high pitched sounds, you may not know you can also use your thumb and finger and open out that dot and expand it in the middle of the tone wheel. And what that does is it brings forth what sound engineers refer to as mid-side sound processing, which looks at the differences between the left and right stereo channels. And by projecting those from the corner speaker drivers, it allows a single speaker to give you the full stereo effect. And that can be a really clever way to make the speaker become really room filling from a single point. And it gives you a lot more of the ambience and the feel of well recorded stereo tracks. And by pinching that back together, it becomes a pure mono speaker again, with the sound coming from a single point. Now finally, this is something that, the only thing that I think was missing from this speaker when it was made, and that is a MagSafe connector. I don't sell these, I've got no axe to grind here. I just bought one online. I've tried several and they all work well, as long as it's got a decent current carrying capability. But a USB-C connector on the back of the speaker I think is potentially a vulnerability. The risk of either pressuring the cable and damaging the socket, or walking away with the speaker to take it to another place in the home and having the cable pull out. For me, that's a risk too far. So I've just used a generic MagSafe connector, and it just makes it so much easier to take the speaker from its fixed position, listen to it out in the garden, and then plug it back in again when I want to come home with it. I hope that that's helpful and has given you some pointers to give you the best sound from the A5. Really is a brilliant speaker. If you're not sure if this is the speaker for you, then this video will give you a buyer's guide to the A5, and this video will give you a guide to the whole B&O smart speaker range. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.